There we are. There we were. There we was.
Well, we was.
Real quick here, and because I don't have any other opportunity to check this, but until all of the elements are working together and the stream has begun,
Live, right?
Yeah, I'm going to minimize all this stuff and open up and check out where that audio is being sent from the, let's see here.
And nobody else can see what you're doing, or can they?
No, they can't.
He's Master Cylinder. Remember that? Does anybody know where that came from? Master Cylinder. Oh, I bet Kim, you know. At that. Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
Test 1 2. Yeah, we were having a problem with my mic dropping out.
Yeah, and now I'm going to check the audio setting on
the
mics. Make sure
of the Saturday Night Live. Well, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, all those folks listening out there in the world.
Oh, you're talking about the infamous Shweddy.
Yes. You don't need to go any further.
NPR
thing. It's the NPR. They did it on all kinds of things. It was always, that.
Oh yeah. No, it's dropped down to 17. I am going to kill.
Which teas?
I'm sorry, Scott. On Spaces, I'm gonna kill Spaces.
Oh dear, Scott.
And
Rumble or something.
Obviously, haven't or YouTube.
Yeah, or to X, right? Just to X and watch.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's video on X, so I'm gonna kill that feed.
Okay.
And that will probably solve our problem. Let me bring this all the way back up. Okay.
No, not the Master Cylinder.
It's the wrong thing you said.
He's Master Cylinder origin tracks back to Malcolm Lougheed's invention of the 1918, pioneering the hydraulic brake system. I know what a Master Cylinder is, but Master Cylinder was from a cartoon. I think it was Felix the Cat or one of those.
Now
I have to remember myself which one it was. Hey Siri, which cartoon character was Master Cylinder?
Oh. Here's an answer from fandom.com.
Yes, Felix the Cat, Master Cylinder, Master of the Moon. He first appeared in Joe Orleolio's 1959 revival of Felix the Cat. That's pretty funny right there. Get on out of there now, Siri. Yeah, Master Cylinder. He was the bad guy. I'm not talking about an automotive
thing.
Even
though without him,
yes,
your
Oregon
car
Ed.
doesn't stop.
Oregon Ed got Felix the Cat.
Yeah.
Same time.
You can tell where all the old geezers are.
Yeah. Hold on. Hey Siri, show me a picture of Master Cylinder from Felix the Cat.
Here are some images of Master Cylinder from Felix the Cat from the web.
No,
Take a look.
That's not true. That's just Felix the Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll have to look later. You guys will have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't think I ever
Kim
watched
says,
that
wow,
one.
Felix the Cat missed that one. What? I thought you were the movie
years
buff.
Older. A couple years older. That was in your day.
It was in my day.
I don't remember that really at all.
Really?
But, yeah. I mean, I knew of the cartoon, but I never saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was Yertle the Turtle.
Oh, yeah.
There was Felix the Cat. There was, which one was Vavoom? Which cartoon was Vavoom? You don't know Vavoom? Mike, do you know Vavoom?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hey Siri, which cartoon was Vavoom in?
Do you want me to use ChatGPT to answer that?
No.
Just answer it.
I will not then, it says. Oh, come on. Hey Siri, which cartoon was Felix the cat. Oh, that's why I did
Which
it.
cartoon was
I
Felix the
just did
Cat?
it wrong.
Come
I was
on.
reading something over. Hey Siri, which cartoon was Vavoom, the character Vavoom in?
I found this on the web.
Oh, geez. Why is that
Somebody
one
says
over there?
Baboom was Felix.
No, Vavoom was this little character that when Felix got...
Well, he's probably referring to that it was in that same cartoon.
Yes, it was Felix the cat, but what was the Vavoom? When Felix the cat got his back against the wall, he would call for Vavoom. Vavoom, where are you? Vavoom. And then out of this corner of the screen would this little itty bitty little guy would walk up and he would look at the wall and there was like the side of a mountain, and he'd go Vavoom, and it would blow a cave into it. And it's so funny. The strange
Thanks
things.
for joining us on this edition of Archaic.
We're just waiting for you to tell
trivia.
us you've got your stuff all figured out over there. So you tell us when you're ready, Mike.
Oh, we're good. We're good to go.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready, Mrs. Masters?
I'm ready. That's all I'll ever be.
I don't know that I've ever called you that.
Maybe once or
That's
twice.
I think in 1986, maybe I called you that once when we first got married.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is going to be our 40th anniversary of marriage this year.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, I guess we just can go, and Mike will be
good.
doing stuff in the background. Thank you, Mike.
No, I'm all done. It's the browser that we were using for Spaces is feeding back and auto leveling the mic. And if we're not doing Spaces, it doesn't happen. I'm going to have to figure out a workaround for that because it's only a very recent development. So,
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, cool. One more little thing for you, one more challenge for you to overcome.
yes, that's right.
What about Mike? Last time with David, even when you turned off the spaces, my mic was doing something weird. Does it sound fine now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I've also checked on the
Settings.
audio coming from the mic, and it's not moving down. I've moved it up to 50% and it stays rock solid right
Okay.
there. So we're
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Here we go. And are you ready?
Ready.
3, 2, and 1. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Perilous World Radio. Alan Masters here. My wife, Jan Masters, sitting next to me. I think I want to go to the Sunday talk,
Okay.
and of which will be called The Spark of Life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested in that, that'll be out this coming Sunday. But it was I don't know, maybe just cute.
It was good. Had a good flow and a good message.
But the message that I'm talking about was just
Yes.
cute, and so it's
Yeah.
worth spending more time
Expounding
on,
on.
especially because the message was that I guess I'm trying to think where I got the actual message to begin with, which was I think I asked a question of some
I
sort.
remember what you said.
What'd I say?
You said you were wondering about your grandson going over to his other grandfather's house.
That's right.
And you were pondering that, and then you got this picture.
Yes, and I got this picture, and I thank you for refreshing my memory. It was what I call picture words. In other words, I didn't get words in my heart as much as I got a picture, and it was a picture of my little grandson Owen's face. And he was looking at me because sometimes he'll run, and wherever I am, whether I'm sitting in the living room, the dining room, the TV room, the kitchen, whatever, he'll run in the house, and he's excited to see his grandma and grandpa.
Yes.
And he'll look at me like he wants to hear
Here I
something.
am.
Here I am.
Yes.
And then if I'm like on my phone or watching a football game, which I don't do that, the news, whatever. Oh, hey, well, great. Where's your parents? Whatever. Or I can look at him, and what I realized is when I got this picture of his face was that there was this spark inside of him, inside of his eyes, beyond the little child's face that is beautiful already. Beyond that, you look into the person and you see a little spark. And when I see my grandson's face, I see a little spark, and then he sees a little spark in me. And the two sparks collide, and it is like what true love is. You acknowledge each other just through, the movie Avatar said, I see you.
Yes.
Which is, I love you. And so I saw my grandson and I said, hi, Owen. This
last
was
night?
Yeah, last
After
night.
you
After I talked about it,
Yeah.
because it was Sunday.
Yeah.
And they come over every Sunday. And I saw him, and he always smiles, and I see that spark, and boom, tiny little explosion of love. And then I saw my granddaughter saw me saying hi, and I looked right at him, and then she's looking at me, and I go, hi, Melody. And I looked at her, and she smiled this cute little whimsical little elf-like smile at me. And then the other grandson, my son Jason, has a son named John. And little John's like, without saying anything, what about me? And I'm like, hi, John. And then he smiles. And you could see all these little sparks, the spark of life. It's the gift that God gave each one of us, the spark of life, the breath of life, and the spark of life. It's like an electrical thing or a little spark. So then I saw all the little grandkids, and I said hello to each one, and I looked at them right in the eye.
Yeah.
And then I went over to our son, our oldest son, Jason, and I go, hello, son. And he looks at me right in the eye, and he goes, hi.
He goes, are you happy to see me?
You see? Yeah. And I gave him
cute.
a kiss on the cheek.
It was cute.
And
it's so simple, isn't it?
It's so simple.
It's so simple and yet so profound
valuable.
and valuable.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is the simplest little thing that we can miss every day.
Yeah. It's funny how that's really what people want from each other.
Yes.
Is just, I don't know, maybe the word is not acknowledgement, but it is kind of acknowledgement. It's to be seen.
To be known and loved.
To be known and loved and seen and
seen.
Understood maybe, or not understood, but be willing to look past the things that we can't lean on our own understanding anyway, but we have enough understanding to know that we don't know, and that's okay. It's okay that we don't know. But in that moment, in that single solitary moment of eye contact, when you see a person and they see you and you smile, or your face has a warmth to it that is expressing you're safe here. There's something so valuable to that. And
you know, the opposite is true when you're caught up in your head and you're thinking about a million things and you actually don't see the people in front of you. You just see your own virtual reality. And it's nice to know, you just come out of it, drop it all, acknowledge each other. But that spark, it gets clouded. It gets a cloud over it with all the worries of life.
The layers of judgment and
disappointment, pain.
Exactly, disappointment.
Yeah.
And pain and expectations.
Yeah.
Expectations is a bad one, because a person can come into the room innocent of your expectations, but you have expectations of them. They don't know what your expectations are. They have no clue, but you have expectations. And when they fail you, unbeknownst to them, they don't even know that they're being tested right now. They're innocent to the whole thing. They fail you because they do not live up to your expectations. Now the next part of expectations is judgment, because they failed you. Judgment, resentment, anger, and it just is a spiral downward. And so, expectations are so something we really need to watch.
It's interesting because the little grandchildren, they come in Is there a different word than expectation? It is, there's like a looking forward to that acknowledgement. Every time those little kids come in, that little Isaac, and there's his eyes, like, here I am.
Yeah. Read right there
Yeah.
what Kim said, the third one from the top.
God shows his face versus God turns his face in Scripture, especially Numbers 6:24 to 26, symbolizes divine favor, presence, and blessing with face shining, meaning pleasure or favor. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, and it's funny because, what is the opposite of that? Face shining, face
Grimacing.
glaring.
Yeah.
With, instead of shining, it's glaring with anger and resentment or disappointment because you failed me. You didn't, do whatever I expected you to do. Expectations of others. It's tough. It's tough. It's like a quagmire. All these things are like you go out into the field and sometimes you want to pick some berries and then you get caught up in the berry vines and the bushes and all the little things that you put your arm in to grab a berry and now it's got you. And and the more you pull back or pull away, it's cutting your skin, it's cutting into you. And that's when you go into relationships or you have relationships and you have expectations and then somebody fails you and then you're like try and pull back and then it hurts because you may say something like, yeah, exactly what I thought. Or, I'm saying you let them know. And now you have created a problem where there once didn't exist, all because of your own monkey brain working overtime with expectations or judgments. Wow. It's a quagmire. It's a Gordian knot.
Well, I guess that's why you need the third party of the Holy Spirit, especially in a marriage, because you both have certain expectations.
In a marriage?
In a marriage of the husband, of the wife, but it's not always going to be there. I think that's the most tricky relationship there is husband and wife, don't you think? Because you can't just walk away and ignore everything. Oh, well.
It is tricky. There's no question.
Because you are married, you're one, and when things are off, you're going to feel it. Or you can ignore it, push it aside, but you got to deal with it.
One person here says children soak up all your behavior. And that's exactly right, like a sponge. All right, we'll take a little break for the commercials for the radio stations and be right back. Stay with us. It's Perilous World Radio. Alan and Jan Masters, 2026 marks our 40th year of being married. And
in August, yep.
In coming up August, and 44 years together. And I can tell you that I don't feel any different all these years later, coming up on, a half a century that we've been going together. I don't feel any different today than I did when I was a young man. And it's odd because I look now at this vast sea of time behind us and the depth of all of the ocean is, if you were on a giant mountaintop and you could look out over the ocean, you can really only see so far, but it's still a long way. But it's a long way that you can see, but it's also, you cannot see the depth of into the ocean, but because it's deep blue, the ocean waters are blue and deep, that there's a lot of stuff that went on during that period of time of that long relationship. Yeah. And it's odd how much has been learned, how much has been forgotten, how much you have to learn over and over again. And it's bizarre to even think 40 years. 40 years. How could that be? It's
blink
just
of an eye,
blink of an eye. Yeah. And I think to myself, well, I'm 65. My dad went to 90, almost 95. Oh my gosh, I still have a long time to live. And then I thought,
God willing,
I thought, Well, then you better damn well make use of it because you've wasted a lot of it. You better do something good with it. And because time is escalating, it's like time is going so much faster now than it used to. I remember when I was a young guy, 15, 16 years old, 15, I think. I remember thinking at one point when I wanted to get my driver's license, it's taking forever. Every day is a month long. Every single day was like a month and it just would never get here. And then I finally got my driver's license and I thought, gosh, I was just thinking that a couple days ago that it was never going to be here. And it was a couple of months ago. But here we are now. For everybody, it seems like life is speeding up.
Yeah.
And
Slip sliding away.
yeah, don't remind me of that again. I played that
It's a
song,
good
Slip Sliding
reminder.
Away. It's true.
It's a good reminder.
It's true. Read that one there from Eyes.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. The two will become one flesh. This is a profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church.
Yeah, it's interesting. Somebody said, I think my daughter Rebecca last night was saying something about, she goes, I used to hear
Walk in the Spirit.
about walking in the Spirit or walking with Christ or something like that. And she goes, I didn't really know what it meant. She goes, I thought, what does that mean? How do you do that? And then now she's like 32. Actually, her birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right.
February 1st. But, and as she was saying that, I was watching her kind of pondering and she goes, but I'm starting to understand that now. And I thought, oh man, thank God she's 30 years old-ish, and some people take so long. And even for me, it took me a long time to really, because I wasn't ready. You know what they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I needed to, experience life in many ways. And
you told a funny story yesterday about your cows, how they all got out the other day, crossed the road into the neighbor's big, beautiful green field, and they're all spread out there, and you didn't have your guys to help you round them up. So you just started calling them. Come on back.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on. And there he's sitting there eating the grass like, we're not going back there. This is good grass.
At first.
So you keep calling him. Just keep on calling him.
I had no choice. There's nothing
Right.
one
You
guy
had
can
nothing else
do
you
with
could do.
13 big giant cows out there.
And one cow lifts his head up, her or she, whatever,
Yeah,
at
her,
you
yeah.
and heeds the call.
Well, it was funny too, because as I remember too, there was the two bulls were standing off to the side.
Right.
Father and son, these two gigantic monster like tanks, were standing off to the side, and then all the girls were all out into the back area, and the father and the son. You would think now the bulls are the leader, the men. They're the bulls are the leaders of the pack. And so I saw them, and they both kind of, and this is kind of funny, almost like in a coffee shop scene.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're in a coffee shop and you go, hey there, Fred. And everybody looks up to see who's saying it and where's Fred. And so the two bulls kind of looked at me, and then they looked at each other, and then they went right back down and started eating grass again. And they were by themselves.
Like, we're okay here.
So I saw that, and I thought, well, they're not going to do anything. And then I looked at the female cows, which were spread out in another area, and I thought, well, there's nobody here. There's nothing I can do except call for them.
Right.
So when I kept calling, and then the little thought that came into my mind is, somebody's going to think you're an idiot standing there calling for these cows.
Yeah.
And that's how Satan works.
Right.
He wants you to doubt
Yes.
even the smallest things. What could it hurt to call for? If you had a dog out there, you go, come on over here, dog. If it's cows, it's like, no, it's not a dog. But the cows, finally, one of them lifted the head.
One,
and then she is the one that likes me the most.
Was that 57?
It had to be because she wants me to scratch her back.
Yeah.
So she starts walking toward me, and I'm talking quite a distance away. And
here comes one.
And then another one lifts its head and goes, well, where's she going?
Yeah.
And then another one lifts his head, and then all of a sudden they all started moving except one holdout way at the back. And it was just standing there, and it was standing there almost like, well, what? Where are you guys going?
What are you guys doing?
What? You guys are crazy. You can almost hear the conversation like in the coffee shop. And then, so finally, she even said, all right, if you're all going, I'm going to go. And then the male cows, the bulls, they decided. It was funny. Now that I look at it, and I'm in my mind, I see it. They were closer to me than all the other ones. Mm-hmm. So before the other ones got here, they decided.
Oh, now they're going to lead.
Oh,
that's funny. Oh, that is hilarious.
Now they're going to lead. So they can, and I just pointed. I pointed.
That reminds me of you.
What? That reminds me of you? Why do you say that?
Because sometimes, like, if I'm about to go out in the car, you want to go out there first. I'm leading. If we're driving home, you got to be in the front. I'm the leader.
Yeah, that's too funny.
Right?
That's too funny.
It's hilarious.
Anyway, so they all just, and then my guys got there, and I just said, walk around the back and just walk gently and don't pressure them. Anyway, it's funny. They all went back to where they were supposed to go. That's my cow story for the day. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Alan and Jan Masters talking about the funniest things in life. Now, let's contrast that.
I want to say something about
okay, go ahead.
that cow story. Okay.
It. Yes.
Because you also said one little thing yesterday. You said that's the way God calls us. He just keeps calling. He keeps calling. He doesn't just call you once and that's it.
Right.
But, I'm sure there at some point he says, okay, go on. But my question was going to be, which cow are you? Which cow are you? Are you the one that lifts the head up and says, my master's calling? Or are you the one way in the back saying, I'm not ready. I want this worldly life.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it doesn't matter because at the end, they all came home anyway.
They did. The cows came home.
So
that's true.
Here's a funny one. This was, I was going to contrast it, but really what I wanted to say is that, my daughter said, she's always heard about, kind of walking with Christ or walking with the Holy Spirit.
Walking in the Spirit. In the Spirit.
And so I think what happens is that we find ourselves out in the world in a place we shouldn't ought to be. The cows were out in the field where they shouldn't ought to be. And in their mind, they felt completely, justified. It's like the grass is green over here.
And there wasn't any grass on our side.
And they'd eaten all the grass on our side. And so they got out and they went underneath a chain link fence, which is hilarious all by itself. But they felt completely justified. And that's how we feel. We feel completely justified with the lives that we have and the choices that we make. And we feel completely justified, even though God is gently calling, you've gone the wrong way. You come back. Come back now. You've gone the wrong way. You've gone too far. You've done the wrong things. You have sinned. You've made mistakes. You've missed the mark. Whatever you want to say, but you need to come back. And God just, kind of is like that. And so I was over there going, come on, cows, come on back now, and they heard my voice.
Yes, they know your voice.
And can a cow have a conscience? Well, I was the conscience telling the cows, you've gone too far. You're not where you're supposed to be. And they rely on that because they know that I am the master. They know that I feed them every day. That I am there to make sure they have water, to make sure that if they have a problem, I bring the veterinarian in or I try and give them something for their ailment. So it's not a conscience like we have. We have a gift from God that is a conscience that makes choices in a different way than an animal. But an animal has an allegiance in a strange way to a person with that God-given conscience. They want to follow him or her. They want to follow that conscience that they somehow know you have. And so if you call them and you are right with them, because you could also have been cruel. And this is so let's just contrast that to how we are cruel parents, rude, mean, unjust to our children when they're younger and as they've been growing up and they've seen this injustice their whole life. They've seen greed, they've seen hypocrisy. And then when we call them home, maybe we have changed, but we want to call them home and say, you're out in the world out there, you need to come home. They're like, I don't want to come home to you. You're as bad as anything I've ever experienced out in this world. See, because they have memory of cruelties and injustice. And so it's hard for us to then even help our own children because of the inconsistencies of our life.
Right.
The inconsistencies of our life. When they looked at us for that spark of love and we gave them impatience instead. We said, get over there, didn't clean your room. You didn't clean your room up. Get your butt over there and clean that room up. And okay, so guess what? Every one of us have done this. But the sooner we change, the sooner we see the light, so to speak, the sooner we understand, the sooner we can articulate that in some sort of repentance. And, it's talking to your children is so important. It is so important. It is perhaps the most important part of their salvation. And it may not be a part of your salvation. Let's just, for a moment, we know it is, but it's for their salvation
as
well, because you are freeing them. You are severing the old ways. You're cutting the old ties and showing them the new reborn version.
Okay. When you're talking about acknowledging the spark in another person, injustice comes when you aren't acknowledging that spark. You are overriding it, overbearing. You aren't seeing them. You can correct and not kill the spark, right? And so, wherever those places are that you have done that, when you come back and you acknowledge what you did wrong, guess what you're doing? You're now acknowledging the spark where you didn't before. And that's why every transgression holds an opportunity of healing, because all it takes is to undoing it is a sincere apology. I was wrong to do that. Now you're acknowledging the value of that person and you're acknowledging what's right and true in life.
It's like Jan and I had this little argument because I was impatient with her. I was out with some people that wanted to pick my brain about business and what have you. And we met for iced tea. And it was going long, and it went from a 3:30 meeting till all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock. And Jan calls me and she goes, "Where you at?" I said, "Oh, I'm at this little restaurant over here talking to these guys." And she says, "Well, maybe," she goes, "Have you eaten dinner yet?" I said, "No, but it looks like we are." She goes, maybe I can come over. And I was thinking, no.
I didn't say maybe I can come
maybe
over.
you could, maybe you said maybe we could. Anyway, the point is maybe we could have dinner. And I'm like, I'm going to eat dinner.
No, I said, you said I'm meeting here with these guys and blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, who is it? Like, what's it about? And apparently you didn't know their names or you couldn't remember them.
I couldn't remember their name.
So you got
something. I just was like
perturbed that I asked any more questions. Like, just don't interrupt me. You didn't say it like that, but the shortness came and it was like the hands went up. Like, just leave me alone right now.
I was a bit impatient.
Yeah.
And so then that caused a little riff for a couple of weeks because I was impatient.
Unacknowledged.
And
then there was, it was a cascading effect. For some reason, this last 6 weeks, the Christmas season, your sister passing, other thing. It was like I don't know. There was some contention in the air.
There was contention in the air. No question.
And it was just floating around there for a while, but we finally.
Yeah. So anyway, the point is that when she finally, I said to her, "What's eating at you?" Basically, without getting into the detail.
Yeah.
What's eating at you at like 10 o'clock at night? And it was funny because you were like, well, I'm about to go to sleep. And I'm like, so what? We gotta come to the end of this thing, whatever this thing is.
Just remember that next time I need to talk to you at dinner.
It's tension. It's tension in the air.
I know.
And it was unhealthy.
It was.
And it's the little things, you guys, the little unspoken things, the little undealt with things. When you don't deal with something, it's like a good example is you get a splinter in your finger and you look at it and you go, just a little bit under the skin there. I'll get it later. Well, later it's because you notice it because, it's starting to fester. It's now getting infected. And now guess what happens with an infection? Poison.
And you know what? You're too busy to deal with it.
Yeah, and it's
too busy.
I don't have a needle. I don't have tweezers. I'll get it. And then you put it off again. And now later on, you're somewhere and you're like, oh my gosh, it's really get infected because maybe it was, creosote soaked wood. So now it is poisoning you and the poison is starting to go down into your whole body. And it's like if you leave it in there and if you just purposely leave it in there, you could lose a finger. It's going to get infected. It could become gangrene. God knows what. That are the little things. Mm-hmm. Right there are the little things in your life.
And for some reason, sometimes they just go a little while before you deal with it.
So it's true. And so that's where we were. It was just, and I'm laying there in bed and it's dark and I'm thinking, this has got to end.
And I remember thinking, I guess he doesn't realize something's wrong. He's not going to ask me if anything's wrong, and I'm just going to wait because it was just, I can't even explain. It was just so many weird things.
Little things.
And
little
going
things.
so fast. Yeah.
So then I asked her, I go, have I done something or is there something eating at you that is, causing this? Yeah. And then you're like, I'm going to sleep. I'm like, no. We've got to deal with this. Well,
the funny thing, I got to just say.
We got to finish
I see it 1 minute.
Yeah.
Because I learned that from you. I learned that from you because every time at night.
This is an excuse,
when I want to deal with something, every time you're like.
Okay.
It's true, right?
It might be be true.
Because I just tell you, I thought, well, here I'm in this situation now, and he wants to talk, and it's late, and every time I have learned.
Okay.
So I just gave it back to you.
So then she goes, all right, well, let me think about this for a minute. And I'm like, think about it? This has been going on for weeks. It's like, what do you got to think about?
Because
just tell me what it is.
It was a whole conglomeration of
But here's
events.
the funny thing. She tells me, and this is my Sunday talk, by the way, a different version of this, but I'll give you the truncated version. As she's telling me, I'm like, itching my face, running my fingers through my hair.
I didn't notice any of that, obviously.
No, I know, but I did. I'm like, I want to get up and run. And I'm thinking, I'm in my underwear. I can't get up and run. Where am I going to run? I got a guest house. Somebody in the guest is in the house. And the guy, all right, so now I'm going to have to hold everybody over to the other side of the commercial break to tell the rest of the story.
Okay.
But this is so funny because it was like a little splinter, but it had festered. We'll take a break and be right back, and I'll tell the rest of the story. Alan and Jan Masters, 40 years of marriage with a little splinter in the eye. Anyway,
or a log.
So Jan tells me what is bothering her since I finally asked her what is eating at you. What have I done? Have I done something? I truly wanted to know. I thought, well, I know I'm guilty of a lot of things, so I'll just let her hit me between the eyes with the baseball bat. And she did. And it was like a bunch of little things. Just little things that had all kind of festered just enough to...
But when you don't communicate with your spouse and you just don't make time.
Yeah.
You don't acknowledge that little sparkle in your spouse's eye because you're so busy with other people in life and business, and the water goes by, the time goes by, and the relationship just goes.
Yeah, it starts to sink like a boat sinking. And then if you wait until it's all the way on the bottom to try and get it to, to bail it out, it's pretty impossible.
It's kind of like your kids. If you're a workaholic, Dad, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone. I'm doing this and that, Cats in the Cradle song.
Yeah,
It's like,
when you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when.
it's all
we'll get together then.
comes back to that,
Yep.
those moments of being human and acknowledging the beauty and the spark in another person and just having humanity.
So
but look with the phones and everything, we're losing it.
Yeah. No,
We're losing it.
No question about it. So what happened? So she tells me, and I could feel all this, funny, this energy, the blood. I could feel it going through my body, and I just was like, why? I'm watching this reaction, because she was outing a thing that had made a home in me, an impatient thing, a thing that is not loving,
Yeah.
right? Not searching for the spark in the other person to connect the sparks and create more life. It's putting out the spark, right?
Right.
And so in that relationship, the spark was being put out. So finally, I was like, well, what do I got to do? Like asking God, what, kind of without asking, more like, what the hell do I got to do here? She keeps telling me all these little things, and I'm like, it was like, it was so bizarre that finally all of a sudden, I thought, I know what I got to do. I got to apologize for being impatient. It's a simple thing. But why? What is going on inside of me? Because the thing makes a home inside of you, and it don't want to be evicted. That's what the thing is, because the thing doesn't want to leave. And what makes it leave, it just dissipates, is the repentance, the being sorry for doing that. And it's like,
Right.
I was supposed to love you, and I didn't. Instead, I pushed you off and said, you don't matter. I'm in the middle of something right now. So I just said, you know what? I'm sorry I did that. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. And she says, thank you. And the weight lifted off my shoulders. The blood wasn't pumping through my veins the way it was before, like hot lava. All the little funny things all just kind of dissipated. They were gone.
This is what needs to happen between our children and us. Because even though,
between us and our children.
If they have, if the moment ever presents itself for them to actually be able to say where their issues might be, and you know what? They may have a part in it. They may have their responsibility of something they've done wrong, but maybe there was excessive use of force or uncaring, whatever it was. Just own your peace. And you can say, you know what, son or daughter, I didn't handle it right. You stepped out here. I didn't handle it right. Or maybe they didn't do anything. There's a multitude of different things that can happen. But when you own your part, you're also teaching them to do the
Right.
same.
Well, also, what is important about all of this is that we know we all have to go through all these things. Sadly, we have to be impatient, and we have to be rude, and we have to be foolish in all ways. And we go through these foolish things knowing, just like my cows knew they were out, and they knew it. And they knew it. And then when they finally got caught, they were like, all right, he knows we're here. We got to go back. And it's not like it's hell, but it's not as nice as the neighbor's yard, field, which has nobody chomping away at it or stomping away at it in the rain and the mud. And they kind of knew. And so since I wasn't mad at them, they didn't run. They didn't run away from me. So here's a good example, again, that has the cows can teach this story again. When you go after your cows, if you are angry and they hear the anger in your voice, you stupid cows, you've gotten out. You're angry that they've damaged the fence. You're angry that they're even out, that they've disturbed your day. You're angry. What do they hear? They hear your anger. They don't know what you're saying. They only know the tone and the energy in your voice. The same with children. So I wasn't angry. I was actually not even angry at my guys because they got out twice that day. Mm-hmm. The first time they got out, I send these two guys that work for me that are not cowboys, and they got the cows back in with two other people. And then they put some rebar down and tried to put, like the fence down. But the cows looked at that and went, this is dumb. I weigh 2,000 pounds. You think that little piece of rebar is going to hold me in? And the cows pushed right out and went right out again. So I got there on the second time and I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at anybody. I wasn't mad at anything. I was kind of thinking, well, good. Maybe they had a nice lunch out there while we were waiting for me to get there.
Need some fresh
get
grass.
some good fresh grass.
Yeah.
And I just go, come on. Hey, come on back now. And at a certain point, the energy was what
I was going to say
saved the day.
The energy.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. There's another hour to go on this program if you're listening on the radio stations. And thanks to all our radio stations, but we'll be right back with more after this. Alan and Jan Masters, Perilous World Radio. Boy, talking about some simple principles of life. And a lot of these simple principles of life are life-changing simplicities. Well, that would be a good name for a book. Life-changing simplicities. Because we complicate our lives. I have done nothing but complicate my life, my whole life, relying on my own understanding. Because it really isn't even my own understanding. I'm taking it from the whisperer who's whispering from the side. It's the world's plan and the world's ideas and the accumulation of the collective soul of the world that I am hearing, and I'm going, yeah, that, because it makes me look good. It makes me right. But that is not the way we're supposed to live our lives. There's no humility in it. There's no grace in it. There's no understanding whatsoever in it. It's just pure gleaning from the monkey brain that has given you all kinds of ideas of how to deal with crap that you have messed up over and over again, because it's me. You, Alan, have messed up over and over and over and over again with a perfectly good wife of 40 years coming up. And thank goodness that my wife is patient. And because we're supposed to be patient for each other. I've been patient for her. She's been patient for me. Her more with me than me with her. But you know what? We don't know what life is holding ahead of us. Maybe
coming up on 40 years.
Maybe you're
right?
going to go middle-aged crazy, Jan, and I'm going to really have to keep you from going to the dance clubs and keep you from, getting big fat fake lips or maybe a butt job. Or something.
Where are you going here? Where are you going?
I just think it's funny to even think it. Anyway, I know that I'll wait for you if you go through all that stuff. Anyway, we complicate life so foolishly, and then we come back to reality at one point. We're like, all right. I've really screwed this up. How many people do we know that we've watched them go through this? I've really screwed this up, and now my kids are angry at me, and my life is a mess. And then the advice typically you give people, that we give each other, is, first of all, simple. Come back to the simplicity of God's commandments. If you could just come back to the commandments that he gave us, you're going to find, it's like love your neighbor how you love yourself. Well, that's a big one right there, because we don't love anybody like we love ourselves. We love ourselves, period. I don't love my neighbor. He's a jerk. He blows his leaves on my property. I'll kick his ass next time he does that. Take that blower and shove it up where the sun don't shine. It's like we are so
little emperors.
Yes, animalistic. It's like, wow. And then we've done that to our children, our son and our daughter and our daughter-in-law, our son-in-law. Man. So I have finally embraced God, that I don't know.
You finally lifted your head up out of that pasture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I finally just, I go to God when I don't understand things. And sometimes I just have to admit, I don't know what to do here, God. And then all of a sudden I get this little bit of understanding and I go, well, where did that come from? I just said, I don't know. And now I know. It's like,
So you don't get to take the credit?
you can't, well, you
see what I'm
know,
saying?
yeah, well, you know that
It's
you,
like,
you don't know. And all of a sudden you're like, no, I kind of do know now, but I don't know where I got that from. And that's the great unknown.
Well, you got to acknowledge, because if you didn't conjure it up out of your mind and it came in from somewhere else, that's the spirit
Yes,
our daughter
but the
was
great
talking about.
unknown that you don't know
Yeah.
is backfilled by the knower.
Yeah.
And what does he say? Be still and know that I am God. So the great unknown, you have to get to that point where you just know you don't know.
Yeah.
And I got
And you feel helpless.
I got an email from Javier, the one guy that listens, says Javier drinks coffee is his handle. And he says, I've worked that way my whole life where I just know I don't know. And you know what? That is probably one of the I don't know, how do you say it? One of the life-saving things of my life is to admit that I just don't know. Because as men, we're supposed to know. We're supposed to have the answers. Hold on a second. Let me think about this. Then they have the thinker, right? The sculpture of the thinker.
Yeah.
I am like the opposite of the thinker. I'm the unthinker.
You're the stinker.
that too. But I'm like the uncola. I'm the unthinker. I'm just like, I don't want to think. I just want to shut up. I've got to shut up the thinking. I got to unlearn. I'm the unthinker. Got to write that one down.
The unthinker. There you go.
That is the title of today's show. The unthinker. Because when you rely on your own understanding, you are not really making room for God. And so it's like to be able to just step back for a minute. That's what the meditation is to get out of the thoughts, get out of your own understanding, and be willing to say, you know what? I think this is right? I think this is the right thing to do. I think it is because monkey brain told me that this makes logical sense, and I can do some research, and my research matches up with monkey brain, logical sense. But Lord, show me what I should do. I'll wait. I'll be patient. I won't let the people pressure me to make a decision. I won't let my friends pressure me, the business pressure me. I will say, I think you're right. I believe you could be right, but I just want to let it sit for a minute. I just want to be still and be quiet and see what comes into my heart. And you could be right. You could also be wrong. People don't like hearing that. You could be right. You could say to them, you could be right, but you could be wrong.
Yeah.
And you know who knows? He knows. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow. And so we're going to wait. Let's wait until tomorrow. And then maybe both of us will have a change of heart overnight. And maybe both of us will come back tomorrow and say, you know what? I slept on it and I feel okay to move ahead. And or you meet up tomorrow and you say, you know what? I slept on it and I just still don't know. So this happened the other day with one of the kids that we raised, young Jack. He wanted to buy $1 million property and he calls me up and he's like, my business is going well and I'm going to buy this big shop. And I go, how much is it? He says, it's $1 million. And I go, $1 million? Holy mackerel, Jack. That's a big piece of property. Big chunk of money. He goes, I know, but it's okay. My business is making a lot of money and everything's going really good. And I can make the payment no problem. And I got a big chunk of money for the down payment. And he's like, got it all figured out. And then I can just see he was ambitious. He really wants that property. He calls me up. You know what I could do? I could put a travel trailer out there and get rid of my house. And I could live in this travel trailer on the side of the property so I don't have my house payment. And he's got logically
all the ideas,
all the logical things. Everything made sense. And then for some reason, reason, the guy would not do some part of the deal. I can't remember exactly what it was. And he was going to get a loan, and the bank was going to loan him the money, but the guy would not maybe just take just a little bit less down payment or something. And it just didn't start going right. And so it made him take a step back, away from his own ambition, away from his own drive, and the excitement of owning
Because we
this
can
big
make
thing.
these things happen. We can force them to happen.
Yeah, I was talking to him the other day, and the deal did not go through. He decided, you know what? I'm not going to buy the place. I'm like, really? He says, yeah. He goes, I realized I was being too ambitious. He goes, it's way more than I need. So then this was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 months ago. So then I was talking to him on the phone 2 days ago, and he came for Christmas because he's like our kid, and he came for Christmas, and then he went to Hawaii and a little vacation, and then he gets back home, and he's back home, and he says, you know what? I got to tell you, he goes, I drove by that property I almost bought, and I thought, thank God, thank you, God, I didn't buy that property.
Yeah.
So taking a step back and learning how to be still and be quiet is the secret of life. We'll take a break and be right back. Stay with us. All right, Alan and Jan Masters. It's so funny how we learn these lessons in life and what sticks and what doesn't. What sticks to you about the things that you've learned? You know, it's like I have shirts that have a breast pocket. And I love having a breast pocket because important things to me, I stick in my breast pocket. So it's right there. And every now and then I'll get a shirt and it doesn't have a breast pocket and it's just t-shirt. So then I have to put on another shirt so I have a breast pocket. And I also like to put my phone, if I'm talking to you, I can put my phone in my breast pocket and I don't have to carry it and hold it up to my face. And I can keep talking if it's on speakerphone. And so I have all these reasons for having this breast pocket. And I was thinking to myself, one day I thought, isn't it funny how I one day noticed that I really like having a shirt pocket? And I thought, well, that's just so dumb. Who cares about having a shirt pocket? But the important things I like to put in there. So how then, if we go through life, where is that spiritual breast pocket that we keep close to our heart? The things that are meaningful to us, that are valuable lessons that we keep close to our heart in our breast pocket, that are milestones of our life, you know, where we could have got a divorce over something stupid, but we decided that humility and honesty and justice and fair play are more important than pride, ego, and having it my way. You know, and remember that, I just heard that in my brain when I said, hey, have it your way.
Burger King.
Right? And I get that. I mean, you know, with food, you know, like maybe how do you want your hamburger cooked? You know, you want it well, medium well, whatever. I get that. But in life, in relationships, you can't just always have it your way.
Right.
Otherwise, most women would be just whores to their men because the men would want the woman just to be a whore, just to do what he wanted when he wanted, and a paid slave. That's not a relationship. And for women, I don't know what it would be like if they had it their way with men. I can't imagine.
Know, I guess what
would I be? What could you call me? A slave? A concubine?
Some women will use that to their benefit. I guess if they know that they can manipulate and get what they want, you know.
But it's funny because
I don't know.
A concubine. What's a concubine?
It's like another woman.
What did they call when the queen had the castrated males?
Eunuchs.
Eunuchs. That's the one I was looking for. Would I be your eunuch?
If what?
If you had control and had it your way.
What?
A castrated man.
No.
Just to do the lifting and the hard work.
Like I said to you this morning, all I care about is that little sparkle in your eye.
Yeah, because we talked about the sparkle.
Everything else.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? But isn't that funny? Look at that. She says, all I care about is a little sparkle in your eye. So we talked about this too on the Sunday conversation about if I have 2 cups of coffee, to me, it's like,
That bowl.
no, it's more than the bull. It's like a lion.
Yeah.
It's like
Hungry
I
lion.
go from being a pussycat to a lion. And all of a sudden,
Yeah, it really does. You know.
So I have to be kind of careful not to have too much coffee because coffee's got a drug in it, basically.
Yeah.
But she knows the way I speak, the energy that I have, if I have 2 cups of coffee, she'll say to me, "Have you had 2 cups of coffee?" And I'll look at her and I'll smile. And I'll go, "Yes." So we are not nearly as conscious of the lion-hearted type of kind of a thing. But when men come home and the woman sees the man, the first words out of his mouth are, of course, that's what she hears. And he's that stupid jerk at work and blah, blah, blah. And it used to be, I remember watching Bewitched
Yeah.
in the late
yeah.
60s.
Yeah.
And Darren would come home. And what would she do? She would bring him a drink, or he would go and take a drink, right?
They would always mix in a drink.
They were
weren't
always mixing
in
alcohol
some of these shows.
to bring the edge off. So you have uppers and downers. And the uppers is the coffee to get you going in the morning, and then you go into the world and you do your work, and then the world gets into you, and then you bring the world home, and then here's some alcohol to slow you down, calm you down, cool you down. Wow, what a weird world our parents lived in, huh?
Yeah.
And now today, what is it today? Now marijuana is legal, and God, everything is legal. There's a pill for everything.
Pandora's box. We're living in Pandora's box.
Yeah. Somebody here says sexless marriage.
Question
You know.
mark. Yeah.
Well, you know what it is too? It's like all things, it's like, how do I say it like this? Everything has kind of an equal and opposite. Because if you are not centered, the pendulum is swinging back and forth, right? But if you were the pendulum and you were centered, and the pendulum isn't swinging back and forth. You're happy one day, you're pissed off, part of the day you're happy over here, and then you're pissed off, and then you're happy. But stay centered, and you can be happy, but not too far, swinging too far to the left. You can be, not happy about something that happened, but you don't have to go swinging to the angry side. And if you stay centered, then you can deal with things. I don't know how most people make it through life with the swinging pendulum back and forth and back and forth. How could you live with that? How can we live with each other? We're supposed to actually, husband and wife, supposed to be that once removed to say, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. What do you mean what's wrong? What's wrong with you? Or what's wrong? Oh, it was a tough day at work. Yeah, had to deal with a few tough things. I said to Jan the other night, I said, I don't know anyone. I truly do not know anyone that is dealing with more stuff.
Trump.
Okay, I do know somebody.
Trump is dealing with more than anybody on the planet.
But look at the man.
But guess what?
And I don't even think he knows about my dad's meditation.
Something, because
Imagine if he did.
God's hand is dealing with, is using him to, just like he used Moses or used any other leader in the Bible. When God gives you a calling, he gives you the ability to do it.
Yes. Now, to be fair to me, I don't know Donald Trump. I know who he is.
Yeah.
But
None
I don't
of us know him personally.
Right. I can see that man has got a lot on his shoulders. No question about it. And I got to tell you, I love what I see in that guy. I love it. I don't love everything about him, but I do. But I don't know anybody in my life that has more going on than I do. And if I think about it, it's daunting.
If you start listing it all out,
Yeah. We'll take a break, talk more about this. Stay with us. It's Perilous World Radio. Alan and Jan Masters, and I just was talking about that I have so much going on because I don't even notice it. You know, I got to tell you, I don't even notice it because I am kind of a dump truck, and the dump truck doesn't notice whether it's gravel in the back or whether it's rubbish of reconstruction, old lumber, or if it's old drywall, or if it doesn't care. The dump truck is carrying the weight. And the guy that told me that one time, he says, you're a dump truck. You can eat anything. You can do anything. And I remember I kind of embraced that I'm a dump truck. I'm like, okay, I'm a dump truck. I can do anything. I can eat anything. I can handle anything. And he says, my wife, she's like a Ferrari. She's got to be taken care of, proper oil change, probably keep it in the garage. And he goes, you're a dump truck. And I embraced that. But you said to me the other day, she goes, you're going 1,000 miles an hour. You got jobs over here and over there and that over there. And, you know, we own all these buildings that we've been, just for the last few years, been buying some good deals. The property value is down and all these deals, and people are owner finance, which is a great thing. So I'm buying this, I'm buying that, I'm buying this. And all of a sudden, wow, we got a lot of work to do. So I'm doing it. And Jan says to me, you guys are going 1,000 miles. I'm like, no, I'm not. Until I stopped and I actually thought, wow, yeah. I've been working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Yeah. Get up and leave the house when it's dark, come home way after dark.
It was like this escalating. It's like,
yeah.
And I said that.
Well, then my sister died right in the middle of it. And I had to fly to Dallas and go deal with that. And it was like, and then that escalated it even more because I wasn't able to do all the things. But I look at these things and I say, okay, you can get caught up in,
like Jack was in buying the place. There's there's an energy of that.
I wasn't even caught up in buying and owning so much as I gave people my word that we would get some things done over the Christmas holiday, and then my sister passed away. And it was like, oh boy. Okay, this is, you know, I'm going to be gone for a few days and all this. So I had to double down and work through the holidays and my guys had to work with me through the holidays, and I asked them to, and they obliged, and they worked right through the holidays except Christmas Day. And it was like, I don't know what it's like to be her. See, and the point that I was making is God gave me her to sometimes pull back on the bridle just a little bit. She's my bride. She's got to pull the bridle. Yeah. Like, whoa, horsey, whoa, you slow down a little bit. And I appreciate that, because even saying it made me look at that and go, yeah. So yesterday, I didn't work. Yesterday, Sunday.
Felt different, didn't it? It kind of like took the...
I wanted to work.
Yeah.
Because I have so many things I can do. And I just thought, and I actually took a nap.
Right.
I haven't taken a nap in 400 years. I feel like the guy that was under the tree, you know, old man time. And I took a nap, and I didn't know what to even think about it. Like, what is this thing? Where am I? Oh, you're sleeping. You're taking a nap.
Something about that energy, though, because you can still do a lot, but when you start getting too hard driven, you just start running over people. Well,
it's interesting because the mind clicks into, and I think I'm going to say it's more for men than women, when it clicks into this, got to get it done. Got to get it done. But
women can click in that too.
I've seen you do it when you're cleaning the house sometimes. Yeah. Jan turns into janitor in a drum. If she has a little bit of coffee or something, and all of a sudden she gets into a cleaning mode, it's like, get out of her way. She's going to clean that whole house. She's going to clean the attic. She's going to clean the cellar. She's going to clean the next door neighbor's house too.
Thank God that he puts that in us, because who would ever clean anything up? So it's just it's a thing. Sometimes you just got to organize. You got to get rid of stuff. You got to, not all the time, but sometimes you do click in. But yeah, there's just something about getting lost in ambitious energy where you do get lost.
Yeah, you do. You get lost in it. So this is funny. This person says, Alan, I used to email the White House every week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. I would tell the President Trump about the be still and no exercise. And then I started emailing Melania. Oh, that's too funny.
That's funny.
gosh. It's funny. Sometimes I lay down and I want to say like the Lord's Prayer before I go to sleep. And I realize that it's an interesting thing when you say that prayer and you are acknowledging some things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, to me, it's like turning off the ignition of the tractor. I turn off me, the tractor. And because my diesel tractor, like, and all of a sudden it's quiet.
The stillness.
Yeah. And I then, before I know it, I'm out. Blink. I'm asleep. And I am like a tractor sometimes. I'm like a tractor with multiple implements. I can do so many things. I'm very thankful. I'm grateful. I want to be gracious while I'm being the tractor. Imagine if your tractor had a conscience and you're going to dig up, something. A good example is, I had to dig up some stuff along the side of one building that I own to fix the plumbing. And we decided to dig it by hand because I have a backhoe. I could have brought it in and dug. It would have taken just, I thought, well, it'll take as much time to put the backhoe on the trailer and bring the thing over there and unload the backhoe and then dig this little hole. And because, who wants to dig with a shovel? Nobody wants to dig with a shovel on a weekend in the rain. So, but I thought, then I got to load the tractor back up, tie it down, take it back home, untie it, offload the tractor. I thought, we'll be done digging this hole because the one guy says, let's just go get the tractor. It'd take us just like that. Mm-hmm. So I decided to not. I said, no, let's go get 2 shovels and dig it ourselves. So we dug and we dug and we dug. Do you know, had I not listened to that premonition, there was a 2-inch gas line that was running right through where we would have dug. And so when we're digging, and it was kind of wet ground, we hit clunk. And I go, what the heck is that? Now, had I dug with a backhoe, I probably would have also had to have I would have called for a location thing.
Right.
But when you're digging with just a shovel, you can just be careful, and we were. But there was a 2-inch gas line. And I remember when I said, look at that. It's supposed to be over closer to the building. And it was, somebody else had done a location thing further down, and it was right next to the building. But it went from the building across out in another direction instead of along the side of the building. The point is that God made me a tractor, but he gave me a conscience, and he gave me a gift called the Holy Spirit that basically shows you,
guides your steps,
guides you around the landmines. And so it was so funny because when I heard, the shovel hit something that was metallic instead of just a rock or something, I go, that's weird. I go, that sounded like metal. And so I just kind of scooped and scooped and scooped, and I go, look at that. It's a giant gas line.
That's a gift.
That is a gift. Thank you, God.
I know some people
That's the tractor with the conscience.
that have all the intellectual answers.
Right.
To anything you say. Anything.
Well, there was a line that said the gas line's running right here, just about 40 feet. That's what I know.
So when talk
so
to certain
logically,
people,
it should go that way till it,
and they have all this research and answers, and I can tell they want me to accept that as it. That's the answer. But I'm always got that question, well, maybe, because there's so much more to it that I don't know.
That's right.
But they want to know that their answer is the concrete answer, and they've figured it out. And I can see people that live like that. I can just see the lack of flowing with the Spirit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a little trap in your mind of all these trap doors and answers, and you're going this one, you don't know which one to go. It's like being lost in a maze.
It's like today we live in a technological world, and you can buy a piece of equipment to tell you where the electricity is, and you can buy a piece of equipment to tell you where the gas line is, and you can buy a piece of equipment to tell you where the water is. But have you ever heard of a well witcher? Yeah, I know you have. So for those that live in the cities, there's a guy that can take two little pieces of wire and walk along holding these two pieces of wire and
sticks,
wire,
wood.
whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he holds these two pieces. I think I've seen it work better with the pieces of wire because flowing water is has an electrical current. And when he walks over where there's water, it pulls down and he goes, there's where you're going to dig right there and you'll find a well. And who showed those people how to do that?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Wouldn't that somebody, Kim, look up, where did the well witchers originate? Where did that originate? Who figured that one out? But it's like when we are guided, when we're walking with the Holy Spirit, we are being assisted like the navigator. When I raced in the Baja 500, I was a navigator for a while, and there was a guy driving, and he was driving like a wild man because you're in a race. And I remember the same thing. When I was driving, it's like, wah, pedal to the metal, go as fast as you can. The guy says, slow down. Slow down. I'm like, what do you mean slow down? We're in a race. He goes, if you don't slow down, we're never going to finish the race. In order to win the race, you got to finish it. Slow down. And then he says, you got a turn coming up here. You're going to have to take it a little bit slower because it's a real sharp turn. And I'm thinking to myself, I can do this. He goes, slow down. He kept saying to me, slow down. That's like the Holy Spirit is our navigator.
That's what your wife tells you too.
Well, this is true, right? This is, and so to have that and the Holy Spirit, what a blessing. I said to you this morning at 5:00 in the morning, I said, aren't we blessed? 5:00 in the morning, I just feel so blessed that I still have my wife after 40 years of marriage, and I have the Holy Spirit too. That's double time, man. We'll be right back. Alan and Jan Masters, feeling pretty blessed today, truthfully. Are things going perfectly? No. Is the world going to hell in a handbasket? Yes. But I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow. So I look at what's going on in the world and I think, yikes. But we know who wins in the end. The question is, when you are called away from danger, do you heed the warning call? The warning call, that is so important. You can be called towards something good or away from something bad.
2 calls, Alan.
That's right.
There's 2 calls that we get. The calling of the Holy Spirit and the calling of the evil one.
And you know which one's louder?
Yeah. That
the
one,
world.
That's the one we tend toward when we're young. Anything from the world, right? But that other call is different. It's like that little calling the cows.
Yeah.
You're having fun. You're eating, doing whatever you want. Alan.
Well, here's the funny thing is, I had a moment while I was standing there. My cows got out and I got there first because I was closest and my guys were out on a job and they had to come in. And so I had to stand there and wait for like 5 minutes. It was like 5 minutes. And it used to be that I own a Jeep. I could drive out into the field and try to chase them around. And I did that one time. Remember, right after I got my Jeep, it was brand new. And the cows got out in a rainy night. And I went out, I thought, it's raining. Oh, but I got a Jeep. And they went out into the field next door. And this is the more ambitious version of Alan. I thought, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to chase them back in with my Jeep, honking the horn, flashing the lights.
I remember that.
What kind of energy? Those guys probably thought Satan was coming after them, you know? So they're running around and back and forth. What I didn't know is that the neighbor that owned the property was doing a septic system test. So the day before, What I didn't know is they call a big backhoe, and he digs a big, deep hole that's like 10 feet or more, 10 or 12 feet deep, and sees how long the water it takes for the water to fill into, I don't know, whatever. There's like a septic system test before they put a septic system in. They have to dig this big hole and let it sit for a few days. I didn't know about that. So I have this brand new Jeep, and I'm chasing these cows back and forth in this giant field of about 10 acres, back and forth. And all of a sudden, at the last second, I see this big mound of dirt. And I'm like, whoa! And I hit the brakes and I slid, and the front wheel went into that hole, and the back wheel was off the ground 4 feet.
I remember that. Yeah.
4 feet off the ground.
I remember
Did
that.
not hurt my vehicle at all. But when I opened the door to get out, the ground was like 8 feet below me because the back wheel was way up in the ground and it went down on the passenger side. And I remember thinking, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Who dug a hole in the middle of this field?
Who dug a hole?
Who dug a hole in the middle of this field like this? Is insanity. Because I've lived next to it for 28 years.
Just goes to show.
You don't
know nothing.
So I got out, and I, didn't do any good at all to put it into forward or reverse because you couldn't go anywhere because the wheels are now off the ground in front and rear. And I just thought, what the hell? So I went back and I got my other truck, and I came out with a big old chain, and I pulled my Jeep out in the rain, and now I'm getting soaking wet. But I had been honking the horn and flashing the lights and doing all that. And so I got my Jeep out. I took it back around, and I had this side-by-side little four-wheel drive vehicle thing for going on the sand dunes. So I went out into the field, and the cows were like out there laughing at me. They're like, that guy's an idiot. And I was. So anyway, I had finally given up on all that adrenaline, and I went and I got a bale of hay, and I put it in the back of the thing.
Right?
I know, put it in the back of the thing, and I stood there and I made the noise of "Soo-wee, come on cows, come on here, got some feed here," and I just started talking, and of course they came over, and because they can't help themselves, they're like a moth to a flame. And then I just slowly drove in, and they followed me back in. And all of that insanity, and almost wrecked my brand new vehicle because of my own, relying on my own foolishness and understanding. Instead of calming down and saying, how shall I retrieve my cow? Yes. Well, I was mad at him.
Oh.
I was mad at him for getting out in the rain.
Well, there you just answered
That's right.
it right there.
So nothing goes right when you have a wrong attitude about the whole scenario. And I took a picture of the things. I had to take a picture of it. And there's raindrops in the picture because it's a nighttime picture. There's raindrops falling and the Jeep is up in the air. And I showed the guys the next day. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I'm so foolish. I'm so foolish. And I'm like 62 years old.
It's that energy.
Still so foolish. Energy.
That energy takes you over.
It absolutely does take you over. So hence back to the be still and know meditation exercise. Is even though my father brought it to the world in its current form 50 years ago or more, 60 years ago, we have to do all these dumb things to come to some conclusions on our own that we're just dumb. And a lot of times that's probably the best thing to do is say, you know what, I guess I'm just dumb. I need to rely on God. And I'm sorry for being a big dummy, God.
You big dummy.
I'm just sorry for being a big dummy because you know what? He had so many other things in store for me that I never got to know about. But I'll know about them now. What's in store, I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow. All right. Thanks for doing the show, Jan.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thanks for seeing the spark in me. And I see it in you too. All right.
Wink, wink.
See you next time, guys. Thanks for listening. Okay. That's it.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, man. Don't you remember when that happened?
No.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. It was.
No, that was a crazy story.
Oh, my gosh. I'm telling you. And I had to shorten it a little bit because.
Boy, you're so lucky you didn't go into that ditch.
Oh my gosh. I hit the brakes and it was in 4-wheel drive, fortunately. So everything was
the
stopping.
hole?
Oh, however deep. I think they're like 12 feet deep.
My God.
But it was,
The septics are
fortunately,
pretty deep.
it was the width of about I'm going to say 18 inch or 20, maybe a 24 inch bucket, right? Maybe 24 inches. And I hit it just to where I could the wheel would fall down in it. And so it was kind of crazy. No, maybe it was wider than that. But anyway, yeah, it was like, what in the living? I remember when I hit it, I was like, that's not supposed to be there. You know how that lady felt when the guy shot her in the head for trying to drive away? She's like, that's not supposed to happen. Well, it did.
Yeah.
You know? Because the devil lets you think. Did we turn everything off yet?
No.
Okay, it's all right.
It's all right.
But the devil lets you think that your thinking is what is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. There's always a deception. Yeah.
Yep.
In retrospect, though, you can tell when that's taking you over. You know, you can
In
look back on it and go, yeah,
Yeah.
I had this sort of drive to do this that really wasn't my own. But
That's right. But that's
When
the
we
mature
get
person.
fed up with something, where I'm fed up and now I'm going to take control of the situation,
yeah,
you know?
Yep.
beware.
Yes.
Did you hear when I came up with the unthinker?
Unthinker. Yeah, we're still on, by the way, just so you know.
That's okay. No, I think that's a good name for today's show is the unthinker. Do you want me to shut it off?
Oh,
Yes, I'll shut it
I
off.
assume that you do it, but I'm
Okay,
happy.
here we go.
The Uncola.